Hello and welcome to qualifying for the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. It is a very overcast day. We're predicting 25% chance of rain in the race as well. So Juan Pablo Montoya currently leads at a 1:16.9. It's a very quick lap time, especially around this track. De La Rosa is currently in second place. Yoong has just smashed Montoya's time by 0.4 seconds. None of the arrows have popped up at the moment, but we've got De La Rosa in third, Panis in fourth, Button in fifth, and Matt Zagane in sixth. There's the first of the arrows. Heinz Frentzen in eighth place. Ralf Schumacher pops up into fourth with a 1:17.9, so he's 1.4 seconds behind the Minardi and Toyota. And we've got 40 minutes left of the session. We're just waiting for a few people to maybe improve. Is Ralf Schumacher going to improve? He has improved. He's managed to jump above Pedro De La Rosa into third place. It'd be very good for the arrows if he holds on to third place. Got Montoya in second, Yoong in first. Yoong's only made one lap so far, one time lap, on 1:16.5. Doesn't need to really go out again because he's pretty much got pole. Montoya can improve his lap time, but cannot improve his position. Yoong can't improve his lap time. That's how good his lap time was. Ralf Schumacher's still in third place. De La Rosa has come out. Is he going to go out ahead? No, he isn't. He is a tenth behind Ralf Schumacher at the moment, who has done 9 laps at the moment. Heinz Frenzen's in 10th place. Ralf Schumacher going to improve. Ralf Schumacher's improved, but he's still a second behind Alex Yoong. Heinz Frenzen still has to do one more lap. That's the guy named Panis, 6th and 7th. Frenzen is in 8th place. Yoong is now done a 16.3. He's still got one more lap to do. Hill is in 9th place in the Jordan. Yoong has gone out again. Is he going to improve again? No, he isn't. So that should be your grid unless Hill improves to jump up the arrows. He does not, so that's going to be your grid. Yoong is on pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix. Juan Pablo Montoya is in second place.
There's only 3 minutes to go.
And there's a 4-second gap between the next 3 group of cars. And as you see at the bottom, Alonso, Sato, Raikkonen, Bertie in 17th place. Webber, Alesi, Coulthard, Michael Schumacher, Verstappen, Barrichello. There is your 11th to 20th place. As we have Fisichella, Hill, Frentzen, Mazzacane, Panis, Button, De La Rosa. And as you see, despite the 25% chance of wet weather, it's a dry track here at Catalonia. It's very cloudy, 70% humidity. We don't know the temperature. We're not given the temperature, but quite a lot of cloud cover as well. So it's going to be a very cool race. But that doesn't really mean much as we look at the grid. Yoong on pole, Montoya on second place on the second row. Who's going to go off to the best start as the lights will go off now? It's going to be Juan Pablo Montoya with a poor start. Ralf Schumacher's managed to jump the Colombian already. Is De La Rosa going to have a chance? Button's also down there, going down the inside. He's up into third place. Is Button going to make it stick against his... Yes, he is. Button is in third place. Ralf Schumacher with a fantastic start into second place. Dennis De La Rosa, the 2 BARs of Panis Mazzacane. Fisichella, Verstappen, Frentzen. Hill with a poor start. Coulthard, Michael Schumacher, Alesi, the 2 Saubers of Webber, Raikkonen, Alonso, Sato, and Bertie is in last place. Who'd have thought a Jaguar would be in last place? Apart from Barrichello, who has retired. I presume he stalled on the grid. Let's see the confirmation. He has stalled on the grid. Couldn't even get away. That's why Bertie lost so many positions. Got caught up behind Barrichello. But there is your first retirement, is in Rubens Barrichello. There is Alex Yoong. Currently leading. He's already got a 2-second lead, it looks like. Yes, nearly 3 seconds in fact. As they go through the third sector already. There's Ralf Schumacher in the newly liveried arrows. So it's going to be even more confusing to see which one the arrows is. Because they've got a black back and an orange front. That will be pleasing to see. That round the final corner goes Panis in the BAR. We're going to see a replay here of Panis' start. Is Panis going to see... Oh, Panis did actually get a really good start, but got boxed in between De La Rosa and Button, and there's going to be your free wide. There. That was the best seat in the house. I see Button's overtake on 2 cars, but Panis got quite unlucky, to be honest, trying to get ahead of the 2 in front. as De La Rosa actually goes really wide. Panis going to actually jump up ahead of De La Rosa. He's gone down the inside of the Season 1 champion. Is he going to make it stick? I don't think he is, because he's going to turn into the inside at turn 5. And there we are. De La Rosa keeps ahead of Panis. Both of them were rivals in the Season 1 championship. Matsukane in 7th, Fisichella in 8th place in the Renault. In 9th place is Jos Verstappen. 10th place is the other Arrows of Heinz-Harald Frentzen. 11th is Damon Hill. 12th Coulthard in the other McLaren. 13th is Michael Schumacher in the Ferrari. 14th Raikkonen. 15th is his teammate Webber. 16th for Lazy. 17th Fernando Alonso. Behind him is Sato, but catching him in awfully quickly. And Bertie is in last place. Sato trying to go down the inside of Alonso, who cannot make the overtake stick. Or unless Bertie can go down the inside, he cannot. Go back on board with Alex Yoong in the Minardi. He's going around turn 9, I believe. Yes, that was turn 9, or around turns 10, and then 11 and 12 and 13 come. There is a close-up of the new Arrows livery. There's not much orange left on the Arrows, but it's a mix of now orange, white, red and black. Going to be intimidated for the guys in front. Young has already got a 5.8 second lead over the rest of the field. That is crazy. They're doing 123s at the moment on the field. That's quite the distance already. Button currently in 3rd place, holding up Montoya slowly, letting Ralph Schumacher get away slightly. But we're still on board with Montoya. He looked a little down the inside of the Brit of Button, but nothing doing. But as before mentioned, Young has flown away. Montoya, going by qualifying time, should be at least a second ahead. There is De La Rosa, the Spaniard in the Jaguar, 5th place, round turn 8, down the back straight. 6th place is Olivier Panis, that's turn 9, Matsukane, both the BAR 6th and 7th are good. As we go on board with Michael Schumacher here. What's going to happen here is hit the back of David Coulthard. That's not going to please the Brit, as he's trying to barge Schumacher out of the way. So Schumacher's retired, which I presume is some sort of brake or suspension issue. So he tried braking, but that looks more like a suspension issue if he's just careered straight into the back, and it's a bit cheeky there from Coulthard, but he's managed to get away. He's managed to keep ahead of the battle for the final 3 positions. There's Sato. In fact, Bertie at 17th. There is Coulthard in last place by 7 seconds. As you hear, Schumacher has retired with the suspension failure. It's a double non-score for Ferrari this race, which is going to be disappointing. As we go on board with Webber. What's going to happen here? That was the collision between Schumacher that he just saw. Webber's going around turn 8. Is he going to take a dive at Raikkonen and go on towards the outside? He's trying to make an overtake on Raikkonen. Oh, that is a disaster for the Sauber team. The Sauber team have taken each other out. Raikkonen's been involved in another accident, oh dear! It's season 2 all over again. Raikkonen's been involved in an accident. I mean, admittedly, it probably wasn't his fault. Oh, I don't know. You don't hit your teammate. You just don't hit your teammate. Both Saubers are out on the spot after hitting each other. They're still going to be pointless in the past few races, and they do desperately need the points. They're languishing at the bottom, and that's not going to help them at any means. But we go back on board with Alex Yoong in the Minardi. 9.4 seconds is the gap. It's about to turn into 10. There's the 10-second mark. Yoong is going to win by a country mile. back on board with Ralf Schumacher in the Repsol Arrows, the very classic livery. They are sporting the 1999 livery, even though we're in the year 2002 in season 3. Juan Pablo Montoya 4th place in the Toyota. 5th place is still Pedro de la Rosa and Button, holding up these guys like a treat, which is helping Ralf Schumacher. And as you hear, Alex Yoong with the fastest lap of the race. Not sure what the lap was, because we don't get any track of that unless we're on board with him. So the 2x2 of retirements from both of the Ferraris are out, both of the Saubers are out, which, let's be honest, weren't best pleased the teams that are involved. But alas, we go home with the race of Pedro de la Rosa. Home Grand Prix, I forget to mention, for de la Rosa. 6th place is Panis, and 7th place is Mazzacane. Mazzacane looking down the inside of BAR of Panis. Don't take each other out. Oh, I don't want another person taking the TV. Oh, Panis! So close to wiping Mazzacane out. But luckily they both survived. Panis got a very poor run off of that corner of turn 5. But he just blocks the path for his teammate, and neither of them can go past. But Panis has just let Mazzacane past. Panis has got to have some sort of a problem. There's no way he was that slow through them corners. But Panis has let Mazzacane through, and we're now on board with Fisichella in 8th place. 9th place is Jos Verstappen in the McLaren. 10th is still Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Arrows. And that is your final point scorer at the moment. In 10th place, 11th is Damon Hill in the Jordan, and 12th will be Jean Lazy, but he's 6 seconds behind, so losing quite a bit of time at the moment as we start lap 6 of 26 here. There is a Lazy in 12th place at the moment. Bertie is quite far back in 13th. He's still trying to make up lost ground. 14th is Alonso. 15th Sato. No, it is not. Alonso is not in 14th. Alonso has just pulled off to the side of the road. He becomes the 5th retirement already after 6. He didn't even get to lap 6. But it's now Sato in 14th, Coulthard in 15th, and last place. He looked down the inside of Sato, but nothing doing there for Coulthard. Of course, Coulthard taken out by Schumacher, who's lucky to even be in the race, especially after the Saubers take each other out. And that was David Coulthard tapping the back of Sato. Round turn 5.
Alex Yoong has just put up the fastest lap of the race.
Nothing doing there. Sato getting quite a good exit. Yoong is already going through turn 1, so these guys are going to get lapped quite quickly by the very, very quick Malaysian. We could see 3 champions in 3 different seasons, especially with the fact that Ralf Schumacher and De La Rosa aren't keeping up with the top 3. The top 2, sorry. With the Constructors' Championship that's looking very, very wild. There's 4 teams are very, very close in the Minardi, Toyota, Arrows and Jaguar. But we're on board with Coulthard. Round turn 12. That's probably wrong. I think it's turn 13. Coulthard's actually got a very good run off of that corner. And 15th place is Coulthard. 14th is Sato's, a very intriguing camera angle, but Coulthard is nowhere near Sato to make the overtake. The quite evenly matched are the Japanese and the Brit. And there is Yoong in 7th place. Round turns 1, turn 2. He's got an 18-second lead already, and we're barely through. We're not even halfway. We're not even a third of the way there, and he's got a 17-second lead over the Arrows of Ralf Schumacher. 3rd place Button is 5 seconds behind the German, so it's looking very, very good for Ralf Schumacher to get the 2nd place in the Arrows. Round turn 4, they go. Montoya's looking down the inside of Button. Is Montoya going to make the overtake stick? Is going to turn into the outside, and no, he backs off from that overtake and keeps behind Button at the moment. And that's probably one of the only overtaking spots he's going to get a chance to do, apart from turn 9. Down through turn 8, turn 9. Montoya goes incredibly wide. This might let De La Rosa go through unless he blocks the path, which he does. But he's not going to be anywhere near enough around turn 9. And turn 10 comes very, very quickly. Turn 11. Very complex sector. It's a very hard track to make a setup for, because you need the wings for the very long straights that this track provides, but then you need the downforce for them very quick turns. As you can see, Matsucane has completely lost Panis. Don't actually know where Panis went. Juan Pablo Montoya still trying to look down the inside of Button keeping them at bay at the moment, which again is helping Ralf Schumacher out tremendously. As we go around turn 4, round they go. Montoya twitching a little bit, still cannot get past Button. He looks down, little down the inside of the Brit, but again nothing doing at the moment. For the Colombian, he stays in 4th place. He's going to drop massive. He's going to drop a few points to Yoong. He can't afford to drop points to the Yoong. He's already dropped points in the last round, which Yoong won. Did he? No, Fisichella won.
Alex Yoong has just put up
And
the
he's,
fastest
especially
lap
with the
of
fact that
race.
Yoong is putting fastest lap after fastest lap. There's Matsucane. Panis is been dropped by 3.6 seconds, but he's in the middle of nowhere. Fisichella 8 seconds behind. He's got Jos Verstappen for company and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Both of them very, very close behind. There is Frentzen. Round turn 11. And 12. Downhill turns turn 13. Downhill goes hill. Then down more hills goes hill. And down the back straight. Alaisi in 12th place. He is pretty much the middle of nowhere, man. 9 seconds behind Hill and 12 in front of Bertie, who still has David Coulthard for company after Coulthard has actually finally made the move on Takuma Sato, who's in last place and will probably stay in last place. But how much will Sato affect Yoong? Because Yoong is going to come up incredibly quickly. There is Yoong. He's going round the final corner now, and Sato is just down the road, I believe. We're on lap 11 now. Doing 117.6 is Alex Yoong. That is very blistering. It's very close to qualifying times already. There's Ralf Schumacher. That puts into perspective how far ahead Yoong is. 26 seconds is the Malaysian in front. Jenson Button 3rd, Juan Pablo Montoya 4th. They're both dropping De La Rosa slightly. And that looks like Matsucane going into the pits. Don't know if this is going to be enough for the one stop. It might just be. We shall see how long Matsucane stays in the pits for. His pit box comes up very, very closely. There he is. That's quite a poor turn-in, but we shall ignore that. Changing of all 4 tyres. And there he goes. 8.1 second stop. That's going to be nowhere near enough fuel for a 1 stop, so he's going to 2 stop. Is he going to get out ahead of Alaisi is the main question. The ticker keeps coming down and down and down, but he's going to be ahead of Alaisi, which is very key for Matsucane because he's got a 9-second gap to Hill, so he can easily charge and try and catch up to try and make the undercut work. As there is Frentzen, 9th place, keeping quite a distance away from Fisichella and Verstappen, hoping that them two start battling and then they take each other out. There's the 6th place man, Olivier Panis, round turn 9 that was. De La Rosa in 5th place. He has no one for company because he can't get anywhere near Montoya and Button at the moment. There is Montoya 4th at the moment in the Toyota, and 3rd place in front is Jenson Button. Down the pit straight they go for the 12th time. The gap is 0.4 seconds between Button and Montoya. Is Montoya going to? No. He's nowhere near. Button is doing a very commendable drive in the Jordan, backing up his second place that he got in Italy. Hopefully Montoya can overtake him soon, but he still cannot overtake him. Again, this is just helping Ralf Schumacher constantly. Ralf Schumacher looking very good for second place. Be another podium for him. He's nowhere near to winning because Yoong has just blown away. But if Schumacher can keep up this pace, who knows, he might become a very, very late title contender. Alex Yoong has already passed the start-finish straight. These are coming down to turn 10, the tightest corner on the circuit. And again, Montoya cannot overtake Button. It's 100 kilometers an hour corner, even though it's the tightest corner. Round turn 11. Button still in front of him in third place. The pit lane is a very awkward pit lane to get to. But down the pit straight they go. 27-second gap is Yoong and Schumacher, and then you got it's 7.5 now between Ralf Schumacher and Button. And I think that was a lap of the Spanish Grand Prix, and I completely forgot to mention anything about the lap. So turn 3 is a very long corner, 180-degree corner, and then turn 4 is a very tight corner, taking in gear 1, about 120 kilometers an hour, and it accelerates at the apex. We go on board with Button as to go around turn 5. Just about the same speed. Turn 2, that was turn 6 and 7, taken by Ralf Schumacher. Turn 8, just lift off the gas, back on the accelerator as you come straight. And there is the new livery we take a fancy look of. Round turn 10, you've got quite a lot of black, still got the famous orange of the arrows. Back on board with Button, and then on board with Alonso. And now De La Rosa in 5th place is still keeping up with them. Panis in 6th place. Fisichella are in the territory of the one-stops now. So presume that every single one of these cars are one-stopping. And we're on board with Verstappen. McLaren are ready. As you mentioned, it's going to probably be for Verstappen. I think he had less fuel than Coulthard in the pit in the qualifying. There is Damon Hill, 10th place at the moment. And there is Verstappen making his pit stop. Round the inside of turn 13 is a very off-cambered corner. Slowing down to 60 miles an hour. But he's not going to get to 60 miles an hour because he's already in the pits. There's 2 other cars ready for a pit stop. It looks like one of them. It looks like Minardi's ready. There you are, Minardi's ready, and he's still waiting for the fuel to go in. There's quite a lot of fuel, and I've got to fuel is 14 seconds for Verstappen. That's a very hefty fuel load. There's the Minardi team ready. I didn't catch what the other one is. Yoong is definitely not the one going into the pits. I presume it's Sato then going into the pits because Yoong has already gone past us. Down towards turn 1 goes Verstappen. He's fuel till the end. There is Takuma Sato. Who's else is ready in the pits? It looks like it's Toyota. Verstappen has quite a bit of clear air. 13 to offer Lacey in 11th. Matt Takane in 10th place. He's back in the points. Hill 9th place at the moment. There is Frenson. Fisichella in 7th. Panis is in 6th place. He's now heading into the pits for what I presume is his one and only stop. The answer is he going? The question is he going to get ahead of Matt Takane? It also makes sense why Matt Takane is slightly faster because Panis was heavier.
McLaren are ready in the pits.
Looks like the McLaren team are getting ready as well for one of their drivers. How long is this going to be? They're still waiting. Away he goes. 12.6 for Olivier Panis. Matt Takane has gone past. How far is the gap? It looks like it's going to be around about the same.
Alex Yoong has just put up
there is Alex Yoong. Yoong has already passed the start-finish line, but he's now got to try and navigate Panis, which shall be rather interesting. Panis is Yoong looks like he's already overtaken a few of the lap cars. De La Rosa in 5th place in the Jaguar. 4th place is one problem Montoya. 3rd place is still Button. The top, them 3 is still lying astern. The gap between Button and Ralf Schumacher is now 10 seconds. On board with Yoong as he's behind Panis. He's losing a little bit of time to Panis. Luckily, there's quite a few places to overtake on this track, but he cannot overtake Panis. What about it? No, Panis still behind him. This is playing into the hands of Ralf Schumacher. He's catching up quickly. 1 second he's already caught up by. And Yoong still not can overtake. Yoong can still not overtake Panis. Panis still holding up the Malaysian. Yoong is not going to be able to overtake at all before the pit stop, which means he's probably going to have to do it after the pit stop. Because the Minardi team are ready. They've already serviced Sato, and it's going to be Yoong being serviced. Is he going to get back out into the lead? I am not too sure. We shall soon see. Slow down to 80 miles an hour. Jordan, Renault, Jaguar, Arrows, all ready for their cars. All pitting around lap 17. Now the change of all 4 tyres, of course, off the jacks. Engaging first gear. Jos Verstappen has gone past. Off goes Yoong. Schumacher is in the pits, so he's not going to take the lead. Ralf Schumacher is in the pits. A lazy directly in front. Renault sounds of it is also in the pits. There is Ralf Schumacher. He's already out of the pits by the time that he's back in. And still feel coming in. Away he goes. 11.5 seconds is the gap. Is the pit. And away they go. Montoya has also been released from the torture of Button. De La Rosa has not, though. And as you hear, it looks like Coulthard has run into trouble. There's De La Rosa in 7th place. Where is Coulthard out on track? There is Coulthard out on track. He has that. I don't know who that is. That's Montoya for company. It's just going from bad to worse for Montoya. He's going around the chicane. He's going to get very poor drive off of all these corners. Look at this. Oh, he's not going particularly fast around that corner. And then all these is going to be quite slow parts. There's Montoya. He's actually going to be pitting this lap. He's definitely not going to get ahead of Schumacher. There's nowhere near enough of a gap. Is he going to get ahead of Button or Pedro De La Rosa? Montoya has not been able to capitalise on the extra time he's been given because he was stuck behind the very slow Coulthard. The question is, will Ralf Schumacher get held up by him? There goes Ralf Schumacher. Might have been held up slightly. Frenton's currently in 4th place, which is remarkable. But Frenton has gone into the pits to make his one and only stop. Where are the top 3? They've gone through the... There's Button, and Montoya has cleared them. Montoya has, despite losing time to Coulthard, Montoya has easily cleared Button and Pedro De La Rosa, so Montoya is in 3rd place. And now he has a monumentous task of trying to catch up with Ralf Schumacher. 3rd place, Juan Pablo Montoya. 2nd place, he's got 14 seconds pretty much to catch up to Ralf Schumacher in 9 laps. Judging by their qualifying times, it's possible, but who knows. 30 seconds to Alex Yoong, who has just put a lap on Verstappen. Nearly taken out Verstappen as well, but luckily the Dutchman was equal to that. Verstappen looking down the inside of Yoong. That is never going to happen. Alex Yoong currently pit in the lead as we look at the walk of shame, shall we say. Both the Ferraris out, both the Selbers are out. Alonso out, and Coulthard is out as well, and we're on board with Sato, 14th place, 13th place, Lazy 12th, Verstappen 11th, Fisichella is in 10th, Damon Hill in 9th, Frenton is in 8th place, looking good for 3 World Championship points at the moment. Panis looks to be in 7th for 4 points. Matagaine has gone into the pits, so we shall see where he comes out. I suspect it will be 10th. And he's being serviced now, so a lot of these guys are going to get 1+ position. Panis plus 1 position. Frentzen plus 1 position. Away goes Matsukane. Hill's going to be plus 1 position. Is Fisichella going to be plus 1 position? The answer is yes. And yes, as I predicted, Matsukane in 10th place. But he's made all of both his pit stops. All his pit stops. He's got no more pit stops to make unless he loses his front wing or does something very, very stupid. Fisichella 9th, Hill 8th, Frentzen in 7th place, Panis is in 6th. There is still the newly liveried arrows that we just can't get enough of. Look a little bit like the BAR, just with a lot more colours. Pedro De Rosa in 5th place, still behind Button, who is no longer holding up Montoya. The Montoya is now 5 seconds ahead. How much Montoya caught up with Ralf Schumacher? The answer is 2 seconds in 2 laps. It's probably not going to be enough time for Montoya to catch up to Ralf Schumacher, especially since Ralf Schumacher is actually pulling away slightly. Ralf Schumacher, is he going to get ahead of Bertie? Yes, he is. There's a very clean overtake there on Bertie. And Yoong is 33.7 seconds. So looks like we're all set for the winner. We've not seen gaps like this for absolutely ages. Yoong has just blown away, and he's just so much. That Minardi car is very well suited to Yoong. It's definitely not so well suited to Sato. But Yoong leading by 35 seconds. He's about to put a lap on 10th place man Matsukane. That's how fast he has been. He's about to lap 10th place man Ralf Schumacher currently in 2nd place. Looks set to hold on to that. Juan Montoya in 3rd. Again, looks set to hold on to that. Button and De La Rosa is the next nearest battle. But De La Rosa is making no efforts to even get close to Button. He's just not. They're pretty much lapping equally. The gap's been very stagnated for half a second to 6/10. Panis is 20 seconds behind all them lots. He's got Frentzen for company. Neither of them have to make a pit stop, of course. They're all getting very close to Sato, the Japanese driver. Frentzen, the German, rounds the final corner. He goes for the 20th time. Damon Hill in the Jordan in 8th place. The Brit looking set for double points tally for Jordan. It's going to be the most points going to be for Arrows by quite some distance. Yoong has put a lap now on Matsukane. Looks like Matsukane in 10th place. Looks like Verstappen is.
Has lost the wheel.
And we are round turn 1, turn 2. There's Fisichella. There is Sato. Pulled off to the side of the road. What's going to happen here? He's going. There's Panis. Is Panis going to. Panis has just taken Takuma Sato out of the race. There's going to be a few stern words happening there. Frentzen, we're on board with this. See what happens. It's going to be clumsy. It's going to be clumsy from Panis. It's very clumsy from Panis. And Frentzen couldn't capitalise. He's very gentlemanly. Kept Panis in front, thinking that maybe Sato should have gotten out of the way a lot better sooner. Who knows? Either way, Sato is now out. So that means that Bertie is the last driver on the road in the Jaguar. I wouldn't have thought I'd be saying that at all, ever. Fisichella in 9th place at the moment. Hill is in 8th. He's going uphill at the moment. 8th place. 7th is Frentzen. 6th place is Olivier Panis at the moment. And they're all quite far behind these lots. 5th place is De La Rosa. 4th place, Jensen Button. Juan Pablo Montoya is 9 seconds in front of Button, but 8 seconds behind Ralf Schumacher. Montoya has got to pass Bertie as well, so Bertie's probably going to take him out because Bertie seems to be the one that causes all the trouble this season at the moment. Yoong has now got to try and overtake Fisichella. Is Fisichella good? Yoong might have the problem of Panis and might have to overtake Fisichella as they come round turn 3. He's caught up massively around turn 1. Turn 2 on board with Yoong. 4 laps to go at the moment, and he has done exactly the same, and Yoong slowly spins and composes himself. He's got Mazzacane to pass again. Yoong very clumsily rolls into the side of Fisichella, but he composes himself calmly and carries on his way. He's got 30 seconds, it's fine. He's only lost 3 seconds trying to compose himself, but he's now got Mazzacane to pass again after colliding a little bit with Fisichella. 41 seconds behind his main championship protagonist of Juan Pablo Montoya. Looking for Formula 1 World Championship. And Yoong getting blocked by Mazzacane. Is he going? He's tried a little look down the inside, but Mazzacane is not letting him through. Down the inside he goes, yes, and he is through. To try and catch back up to Fisichella. To try and pass Fisichella, take 2. He managed to pass Mazzacane twice. He's got to try and pass Fisichella again. We shall see what happens on lap 24, the last 3 laps here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Turn 1, turn 2, negotiated fine. Fisichella's quite a bit in front, I'd say about 3 seconds, but that could be a lap that he could easily catch, I reckon. To be honest, it might get to the point where Yoong might have to pass him at the same spot, and it looks like Yoong's going to have to pass some other cars on the way. It looks like the Hill, I think it's the Hill, Frentzen, the other one battle, Panis battle. Round turn 8. I think Yoong is going to catch Fisichella in the wrong place again, unless Yoong can get close enough to pass down the back straight. Yoong, oh no, Fisichella letting him through. Turn 11. There we go. Yoong has just taken out the 150 brake barking boards, but it's a good job you don't really need to brake there. Ralf Schumacher now on board with Vinny Arrows. He's coming up to lap a lazy. Juan Pablo Montoya is in 3rd place at the moment. 6 seconds is the gap. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of movement anymore. Button in 4th place. 5th place is currently Pedro de la Rosas, and then he's got quite a big gap to Panis in 6th. Don't think we're going to see any more movement. Round turn 10. We're back on board with Pedro de la Rosa. They've got Bertie to overtake now, Button and Pedro de la Rosa. Who's Button going to... Button might catch Bertie in the devastating turn 3. Seems to be the main culprit of all the accidents at the moment. Apart from turn 10 when the Saubers took each other out. Turn 1 and 2, Button's definitely going to catch Bertie in the wrong place unless Bertie doesn't slow down, and he is not, so that's actually alright for Button, but Button's now going to be held up slightly by Bertie, so Bertie might actually play team orders here to try and let De La Rosa catch up. And turn 5, Button catching Bertie in the wrong place, and Bertie now playing the team game here. Button needs to overtake Bertie as quickly as possible, otherwise he's going to get pressured by De La Rosa. That's nearly Button into the side of Bertie. Button's managed to overtake him. Is De La Rosa going to overtake Bertie? The answer is no. Bertie keeps hold of the line, keeps hold of position, but Button is going to get away from De La Rosa. Bertie is destroying De La Rosa's chances of coming 4th. Bertie, who has been lapped, is not obeying to his teammate. We're coming on to the final lap here, and De La Rosa probably should have shaken his fist at his Brazilian teammate. Is Bertie going to have a go? Bertie's trying to overtake De La Rosa. Bertie has overtaken De La Rosa on the inside. That's not going to please the Spaniard. Go on, take him out. Go on, De La Rosa. You show him who's boss. It's close enough. De La Rosa is just... Bertie's going to try and overtake him again. Oh dear, and we've lost picture. We have lost picture of everything. We're on board with, I think, Bertie. And we have lost picture. Yoong has passed the finish line. That's about it. We're currently leading. Yoong has won, and we have lost all picture. Frentzen going into the pits, Yoong going into the pits. Not really sure what's happened, but it looks like the race might be over. We've lost all picture, and Yoong's won the race. I don't know who's come second or 10th or anything. All I can tell you is Yoong has won the race. We shall see the classified results now and see who has come where. Yoong wins by 31.2 seconds. By Ralph Schumacher in second place has managed to keep hold of second place Juan Pablo Montoya. 1.8 seconds was the gap in the end. Button in fourth place in the Jordan. 7 seconds was the final gap because of the naughty Bertie, let's be honest. Fifth place is De La Rosa. Sixth, Panis in the BAR. Seventh is still Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Eighth is Hill. Ninth is Giancarlo Fisichella. 10th place is Gaston Mazzacane, making it double points for the BAR. Fortunately, we couldn't get to the end of the race, but we lost all pictures in Barcelona and we were unable to give you what we wanted. But alas, you still see the results. Juan Pablo Montoya in third place, being held up by this man, Jenson Button, for most of the race, which scuppered his chances of keeping up with Alex Yoong. Fifth is De La Rosa. Sixth is Olivier Panis in the BAR. Seventh, Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the Arrows, which is a very good result for the Arrows, meaning that they've caught up slightly to the current championship leaders. We shall see at the end of the race the championship positions, the updated ones. I'm not going to be able to show you on screen, but you will be able to see. We look at the rest of them. Alazi in the Renault, Bertie 13th in the Jaguar, very poor result. 14th is Takuma Sato, he had an accident. Coulthard had a gearbox issue. I think Yoong actually got the fastest lap in the end. Alonso retired. Raikkonen and Weber took each other out. Schumacher pretty much took Coulthard out as well. And Barrichello never really got started. So that was the Spanish Grand Prix. I've got to talk now for the next 45 seconds whilst we look at the standings. That was the Spanish Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed it. The next race, I don't actually remember where it is, to the shame of me. I think we're going to Austria, which resulted in quite the race last season, shall we say. It was a very entertaining race. I hope you enjoyed the Spanish Grand Prix. I certainly did. I'm happy with commentating. It was very enjoyable, and I think that should be enough time now. So I shall see you for the next race. Goodbye.